The betting markets expect the Arizona Cardinals to be better this year than last. Of course, this will be hard for them to be worse than they were last year. They went 4-13 for the second consecutive season. This was an 11-win team back in 2021, but honestly, 2021 for the Cardinals feels like a long, long time ago. Now, for 2024, we're seeing a kind of a split line with Arizona. There's 7s and there's 6.5s in terms of their win total for this year. 6.5 juice to the over. 7's pretty much minus 110 in that range. But you can get at Arizona at 6.5 wins with a little bit of juice right now if you think they're going to be improved in 2024. Of course, if you don't, you can get them under 7 wins. So that split line is a real benefit for bettors, even if you have to lay a little bit of extra juice to get the best of the number. When you're talking about season-long bets, getting that extra half win can make a whole lot of difference come December and January, the 6.5 versus the 7 for Arizona. Whether you like them over or under, you want to get the best of the number. This is one team you do want to do some line shopping with. Of course, 4-13 last year. They went 2-5 in games decided by a touchdown or less. It's year 6 of the Kyler Murray era. When did that happen, dude? It's like, wasn't he just a rookie? No. Year 6. But this is his first fully healthy offseason in Arizona's offense. And the reports, remember, Kyler Murray had that thing in his contract saying he has to spend at least 4 hours a week studying. That made it seem like the off-field preparation might not be there for Murray when he signed that extension. The reports this offseason, he's been, quote, living at the training facility all spring. Supposedly he was there all fall and doing all of the rehab work that he's done, coming back from multiple injuries. The reports are that Kyler Murray is engaged with his teammates. So that's certainly a positive sign. From a backup standpoint, Clayton Tune, Desmond Ridder, I guess if you had to win a game, one of those two guys might be able to. I'm not going to call it a nightmarish backup situation for Arizona, but it's certainly not a positive expectation. If Murray gets hurt, under bettors likely to be able to cash their ticket. That being said, Murray, living at the training facility, he's been working with number 1 draft choice, Marvin Harrison Jr. Both starting wide receivers from last year are gone for Arizona. Then again, they didn't do a whole lot. Michael Wilson was the number 2 last year. Greg Dortch is back. Trey McBride at tight end. Running game, they finished number 4 in the NFL running the football last year. That was a number that shocked me when I'm going through last year's stats. I'm like, really? Arizona ran the ball that well? How did I not remember that? 139 yards per game on the ground. And in theory, this year, they should have a real good offensive lineup, but much better than what it's been. Paris Johnson, the number 1 draft choice from last year, he's moving to left tackle. They got Jonah Williams from Cincinnati in free agency. They got Evan Brown from Seattle in free agency. They drafted a couple of tackles from Illinois and Texas, plug-and-play guys. There's depth and there's talent on this offensive line. It is one area where the Cardinals are legitimately improved from where they were a year ago. And it's also worth noting, Jonathan Gannon in his second year, offensive coordinator Drew Petzing in his second year. A lot of times you have a first-year, first-time head coach like Gannon, and after the first year, the whole staff gets, much of the staff doesn't return. That's not the case for Arizona. This coaching staff returned nearly intact for year 2. Nobody got poached, and Gannon wasn't like, I made a bad hire with this guy, I made a bad hire with that guy. So from a continuity standpoint, it looks pretty good for the Cardinals this year, especially compared to any of the last 2 or 3 seasons. Legitimately, there's some continuity there, and that is, again, a franchise that hasn't had a whole lot of continuity since Cliff Kingsbury left town. Talk about Arizona's defense and schedule just a minute. First, what do I got to do? I'm going to ask you for one thing. If you like this, give me a like. Thank you. Problem solved. Done. Makes all the difference with the YouTube algorithms. The likes make a huge difference. And thank you if you like this content. I appreciate it, and I enjoyed putting it together for you. Of course, I put all this content out early in July because my NFL season win report is up and available. I like to have that up early because what happens between July and August? Nothing happens in the NFL, but the markets start to move and people start to pay attention. So I put out my win report every year fairly early to get the best of the number because nothing's going to happen the next month except for that these numbers are going to get worse. So if you want to get on board with an NFL season win report, 100 wins, 50 losses, 3 pushes. I've been doing this report since 2001. Those are the documented records. You can get them if you'd like at wagertalk.com. Take $20 off this year's win report. 5 plays in total, including a 5% big ticket selection. Those 5% plays, 16-4, 80% a lifetime of the report. Last year, Green Bay over 7.5 wins. Was a sweat early, got there late. All good. Not going to complain about that one, even though they made me crazy for the first half of the season. They kept on losing winnable games. That being said, 16-4, 80% with the 5% big tickets. This year's report does have a single 5% big ticket selection and 5 plays in total. Now, I may well add an additional play or 2 after week 2 or 3 of the preseason, depending on how the markets move, depending on what we see between now and then. But right now, it's got 5 plays, including the 5% big ticket. Take $20 off that report. Use promo code REPORT20 at checkout. I get $20 off that NFL season win report for 2024. And the best thing about the report, again, if you guys are watching these preview videos, these are all notes that I took while I was preparing this report. It's detailed. There's good analysis. You can use it all year long to help you win in the NFL. I encourage you to get it right now. Again, report 20 at checkout if you want to take $20 off the 2024 NFL season win report. Let's talk about Arizona's defense. Second-year defense coordinator Nick Rallis. It's a super young coaching staff, all right? And the rebuilt defense, supposedly the reports are positive, that people are buying in to what they're trying to do defensively. And when you have one of the younger coaching staffs, you lose the experience and you gain the, we understand what the players are thinking, we can relate to the players, et cetera, et cetera. So there's some positive and some negatives from that. When it comes to free agent additions, they signed a couple of defensive tackles. That should really help. Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones. Signed Mark Wilson at linebacker. They signed Sean Murphy-Bunting at cornerback. The first rounder, Darius Robinson, edge defensive lineman out of Missouri. Second round cornerback, Max Melton out of Rutgers. That guy can play. There's a lot of additions to this defense. So it's a type of defense that may not be great in September, but could get better as the season progresses. They do have a couple of playmakers, Budda Baker at safety, obviously Jalen Thompson. But the cornerback question mark, a lot of question marks. They did have 3 rookie cornerbacks from last year. They're all back. And in theory, they should get some production from that trio. But again, defensively, we're not talking about an elite unit. We're talking about a team that's gone through major offseason changes, and it could take some time for Arizona's defense to start to click together. So they may be playing a fair few shootouts over the first month of the season. Arizona in their individual games to go over the total is not something I would necessarily talk anyone out of as a thought process for the Cardinals going into week 1. From a scheduling standpoint, it's not like the league is doing a whole lot with them where they got 1 Monday night game, 0 Sunday night games. So it's not like you're going to see Arizona on TV a whole lot this year. So the teams that you don't see on TV, if they're any good, you can make money with them. If they're really bad, you can make money fading them because they don't get that much attention. So the potential for Arizona that way. A week 11 bye, that's a positive right in the middle of the season. I think that's good. NFC West opponents face the AFC East and the NFC North. So there's traveling back east for early start games. That's never good for West Coast teams. That being said, you want to talk about a team that got a little bit of a break schedule-wise. There are 3 extra games at Carolina, Washington, and New England. Those are projected to be 3 of the weakest teams in the NFL this season. And if Arizona wins all 3 of those, which they could, they're likely to get up and over their season win total. So there's hope for Arizona this year in a way that probably hasn't been in either the last couple of years. Whether Kyler Murray can actually live up to expectations with that rebuilt receiving corps is another question entirely. But we lean over for the Cardinals. I think they may be better than advertised. Thank you so much for watching. Again, click the like button. We appreciate it so much. If you want to comment below, I'll be back throughout July answering questions, replying to comments. I can't promise I got a lot of 32 videos, so I can't promise I'll answer every single comment for every video. But I will be back, and I will read what you wrote, and I'll answer as many as I can. And of course, if you like this type of analysis, especially early, click on the next video. All 32 NFL teams previewed, ready for you right now, the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Best of luck.